Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Bent Pages and Bending Bodies. I'm your hostess, Dr. Hannah P. And before we get started, you already know what to do. Go like, follow, subscribe to this page on Instagram. This page now has a TikTok as well at BPBB Podcast, like Bent Pages, Bending Bodies Podcast. Yep, you already know. BPBB podcast. This video is available on YouTube and this audio is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, yeah, without further ado, guys, we have a very, very special guest today. This is Lauren Macke. She is from the Midwest. She is what is known as a certified therapeutic recreational specialist. And she's been working in her field for 14 years. So, hello, Lauren. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Can you tell us what is therapeutic recreations? Like just kind of what is that field and what do you do?
Yeah, I work a lot with I work in neuro rehab currently. So I work alongside the rest of the clinical team and kind of help get the clients back into things they enjoy, their quality of life. I kind of take all of the goals that they're working on in PT, speech, OT, and put it functionally into something that they like to do for fun. We play a lot of games. We do community integration. I also do aquatic therapy. We do bike rides, anything they like to do for fun. We kind of try to get them back into it.
Did I always say, man, Lauren's job is so cool. I just see her playing games all day, or I'll like look out, it'll be a nice day, and she's out on a bike ride with people, and I'm like, and stuck inside, sweating anyway. So, yeah. What did your journey look like becoming, excuse me, a therapeutic recreation specialist?
Yeah, I went to school. I always kind of knew I wanted to do something in healthcare. I wanted to help people out with disabilities. I originally actually started going to school for PT. I kind of had a change of heart while I was in school and was just browsing the catalog of what to take, and I stumbled upon therapeutic recreation. And I read it and I was like, you know what, this sounds pretty cool. I was very originally gonna thought I would go into adaptive sports, something with kids. But I love neuro rehab, and I wouldn't change that. But yeah, I just figured it was still helping people, but I got to have fun every day. Why
Right,
not?
right, exactly. What does that schooling process look like?
Just a 4-year bachelor's, classwork, obviously your normal classes, prereqs that everyone has to do. Then there's different disability categories of classes. So I had a physical disability class, cognitive impairment class, mental health class, where you really focus on the different disabilities that a CTRS could work in. And then a lot of field work and volunteering along the way just to kind of figure out what field you want to be in. And then you finish with a full semester internship in the field, kind of learn the process that you do clinically before you graduate, and then you do have to take a certification exam.
Nice, nice. How long is that exam? Do you remember?
Mm, I don't. It's been so long now. I
That's
know it was electronic. I'm not that old. It didn't have to be pen and
oh,
paper.
I just meant like time wise, like I remember I think ours was like a 5 hour exam or something
Oh
crazy.
no, I want to say like maybe an hour and a half.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is something that you really enjoy about being a therapeutic recreation?
I truly enjoy watching people get better, and also a lot of times I get to see them do things that they like to do and things they did prior to their injury or accident. And then I'm kind of like their first step back to like the real world of, oh my God, I'd like to play basketball before. I've been in a hospital setting, I've been in rehab, I've been doing PT, and then I take them out and shoot a hoop and it feels real. And it's really exciting to see the smile on their face when they get to do something that they enjoy. So I truly enjoy working with them to bring back joy to their life and see them happy.
That's super dope. Did you place like do you have a background in sports already or do you encourage people to that way you kind of know different hobbies or different skills that they want to get back to?
Yeah, I played sports, all kinds of sports growing up. So I've always loved games. But so yeah, I obviously teach them new things, but sometimes they teach me things that I've never learned before. I've learned coin collecting. I've got taught cribbage by a client, so it's fun because I get to learn their hobbies as well as I get to share mine. And um, yeah, it every day is different. Every day is fun.
Well, since you're talking about every day is different, can you describe a typical day of yours?
Mm. I always say there is no typical. It could be a variation of activities throughout the day, and each day I could do something different. But typically, like I said, I'm also an aquatic certified therapist, so I'm in the pool doing aquatic therapy a couple hours a day. We do bike rides in the summer with adaptive bikes. I'll do community integration, so I'm taking people out, having them relearn how to interact with store employees, how to find their way around a mall, scavenger hunts at a hardware store. So really trying to person center what they enjoy when we go out. And then we do a lot of just cognitive games, brain teaser games, board games, card games, anything that they enjoy or something that they might not enjoy, but I'm kind of encouraging them to do along the way, and then they might like it eventually. Because sometimes I do have to help them find new hobbies because they physically or cognitively can't do what they did before for fun. So helping them find something new is also something I do with them.
What are some adaptive ways that you help people get it back to doing their hobbies?
There's a ton of adaptive equipment out in the world already, whether it be an adaptive fishing pole, book holder. I think there's a lot of nowadays, a lot of adaptive technology out there. We use a lot of like tandem TerraTrike bikes at work to help them be able to bike ride again. And if we don't have a piece of equipment, I have worked with our maintenance guy and made pieces of equipment that work. For example, I had to make a stylus for someone who had very limited range of motion in their upper extremity to be able to use their phone to play games, and he helped me bend it and make it, and we got it to work. So if it's not already created in the world, then we kind of try to jimmy it up and make it ourselves.
So you've been working for 14 years. Have you kind of bounced around and found neuro rehab, or was that just kind of like you already knew from the get-go that's where you wanted to be?
I kind of knew from the get go. I did my internship at a rehab facility and I really liked it. So once I was job searching, I kind of only looked in the rehab setting. And I definitely think it's where I belong and where I want to be from the other options that I could do.
With other guests on this platform, we've talked about just maybe a particular diagnosis that you enjoy working with. Do you have one?
I would say traumatic brain injury. Everyone is different. No one's alike. So every different person is unique, and the struggles that they have or the things that they're really good at. And then add that I work with their hobbies. So everyone's hobby is completely different. So every person I work with, no one is the same as the last person I worked with.
I definitely agree. I was thinking the same thing for myself. What are some challenges that you faced in this field?
I would say the biggest barrier um as this field is we're not necessarily recognized or acknowledged by the insurance companies. We have made some strides in like Medicare is starting to acknowledge us, but your general commercial insurance doesn't pay for rec therapy services typically. A lot of the times we're just kind of included in a bed rate. Um, but I do think we have been making advances and trying to become more recognized. As like I said, so some are starting to pay for us, but we still have a long way to go to be truly recognized as one of the therapy hours in someone's rehab stay per se.
So then what type of facilities do most therapeutic recreation specialists work in?
Um, I would say, in my opinion, this isn't a professional opinion, but in my opinion, I would say the bigger areas where you see a rec therapist would be like a nursing home or like a senior center where there's like they're working more activities. And then another really popular place right now is like mental health facilities or hospitals as that activity department again. So that would be the two main areas where I feel like we're growing right now to provide activities to those populations that can't do it themselves.
do you see the field, like you said, you're being more recognized as a, an extra discipline. Do you see other settings starting to adopt this more in the upcoming years?
I hope so. I couldn't say that I really have much knowledge on other fields as I truly don't have an interest in working in those fields, so I'm not quite sure. I'm just glad that I'm still recognized and known in rehab.
Let's get on to a couple of fun questions. So, if you could design, like the ultimate therapeutic activity for somebody, kind of walk us through your process of that. Like, what would it be like?
Well, when I meet with somebody, I always evaluate them and determine what is important to them, whether it's music, sports, reading, games, something active, something more sedentary. And I try to find things for them that are of meaning and quality of life for them. Um, so that would be how I would start. As far as my ultimate therapeutic recreation service, I would say I love special events. So having any like holiday or themed event would probably be my favorite thing to plan. But that doesn't come around super often. I would say as my favorite intervention to do at work would be aquatic therapy, getting someone in the pool, helping them walk again, stretching them out, just getting in some exercise would probably be my favorite therapeutic recreation intervention on the daily, though.
How long did it take you to get an aquatic certification? Was that on top of your CTRS?
Yep, so that is on top of it. It is one like long weekend conference. I think you have to have like 15 or 20 education hours within that conference. And then again, it's another exam. When I took it, it was online after the conference, and I part of me thinks they've switched now to a more of an in-person at the end of the conference. You might still be able to take it online. I'm not 100% positive, but I know at the conference it's an option. Um, but yeah, that's how I did it it's probably been 12 years since I've had that, 10 or 12 years.
And what drew you to aquatic therapy?
I grew up swimming every summer. I love being in the water. I found kind of aquatic therapy in the job from my internship. So my internship was very aquatic therapy based, working with brain injury and spinal cord. So I kind of took my own personal leisure interest of love being in the water. My mom used to always say that I was a fish as a kid. Um, and then was able to put that within my career, and now I get to do my leisure for my career, and my job is awesome, I think.
It really is. I'm like, man, sometimes if I could go back, I would do Lauren's job because sometimes with PT, it's like a fight to get people to participate. And not that you don't have your own struggles and getting people to cooperate, but it's just not like T-Rat guys, that's their nickname. They're the people you want to work with. Like she said, they're the people who help you get back to those really fun hobbies. Um, even though what they do is still hard work and everything, it's like you don't think about the hard work because you're on a bike ride with the wind blowing and it's sun, whereas I'm like, bigger step,
Yep.
lift your weight. And so it's a lot different. That's for sure. Excuse me. All right, so Lauren, so just for the listeners, because a lot of people, when I say like, "Hey, I'm in the pool with somebody," they're like, "Wait, you get in the pool with your patient?" Like, just kind of walk us through what is a therapeutic pool, kind of what are the benefits of it, and yeah, just walk us through kind of some of your interventions in there as well.
Yeah, so our therapy pools, we keep it between 93 and 95 degrees, so it's nice and warm. The benefit of having that warm water really makes it so they can relax. So if they have any tone or spasticity, they're really gonna be able to relax, and then we can really get a good stretch. So if they are toned, we can stretch out legs, arms, back, and kind of help them relax. So definitely pain relief and stretching is a huge benefit in a therapy pool. And as far as just general pool exercises, we do a lot of walking, gait, mobility, balance exercises in there. With that protection of the water, it really makes it a safe place to re-practice walking and balance. So a lot of times, me and you will do a co-treat. working on somebody, getting them back to that walking. And if it's not straight walking, we can do exercises to help strengthen the legs, like kicking or treading, to then that would also help with walking. So if they can't straight walk, working on that strengthening in that safe, warm spot is great. I like to say it's where the magic happens, but I always tell my clients to not tell the PTs that it doesn't happen in the gym.
I've heard you say that maybe once or twice in front of
Oh
me.
man, we're supposed to.
I ignore it, but it's okay. No, the pool is so fun, guys. It is where magic happens, honestly. Have seen really some incredible moments.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about just other skills that you do in the pool. Like you teach people kind of how to relearn how to swim. What is your determination for, if this person is safe to go, like maybe they were a swimmer or they have a boat or something like that. What is kind of your clinical reasoning for, determining if they're able to go back to that or not?
Yeah, definitely if we're working on swim skill, I would not say it's something I do a lot of, but I have had it. I do have a swim evaluation that I follow. So it kind of is just like basic, can they get in? Are they comfortable? Can they blow bubbles in the water? Do they feel comfortable having water on their face? And it kind of progresses to like, are they able to bob up and down and recover? Are they able to float for on their back? Are they able to float on their stomach? Are they able to pull up at the wall and regain their balance after swimming? It has how long can they tread for if it were to be like a safety, they needed to tread for so long for safety. Um, but yeah, so I would follow that evaluation to determine if I would say that they're safe or not. If it's someone isn't able to float, which I think I see the hardest problem is people just don't have that core strength to get back to floating to safely be able to swim. I could recommend a life jacket just to make sure they're safe. But yeah, it all depends on if their family or their house has a pool or if they're going boats or if they're in a lake. I can kind of adapt to what I'm looking for, to see if I do think that they could functionally swim.
Is the for so for the pool certification, do you have to do like clinical education hours for it? Do you have to kind of keep up with different research? Kind of tell us about that.
Yeah, for the aquatic one, I have to have 10 CEUs every year. And for my CTRS one, I have to have 50 every 5 years. So it really kind of helps keep me on track for my CTRS certification that I just do the 10 a year for aquatics, and it kind of goes to both of them.
So in PT, we have neuro, ortho, kind of these different subdivisions. Are there any other subdivisions of the CTRS
I
specialty?
would not say there's subdivisions. So with the CTRS degree, you're qualified to work in any of the special populations. So geriatrics, mental health, physical, cognitive. We don't specialize in one. I do think though, now that you mention that, they might have come up with a more specialty thing, but it was before my time. So I'm not 100% familiar with it. Okay.
So if a movie were made about CTRS, what would it be like? Tell us.
I'm going to say it's not a movie. I'm going to say we identify more as a sitcom that
Okay.
every 30 minutes we change. Never know what's coming, if it's going to be funny, if it's going to be dramatic, if it's going to be scary. So I would say that yeah, we're more of a 30-minute sitcom and typically always laughing by the end of it, no matter what happens.
I like that. And I think that's so true. I can vouch for that. I was trying to think of the question for PT. And I was like, I think we're kind of like an underdog story, where it's like, you have your highs and your lows and it's looking rough for a little bit. And then after a while, the person, they make those gains that you want. I was like, I think that's how we would identify.
One of those like feel good sports movies.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, let's go back a little bit to so you've talked a lot about both in the pool and in your sessions that you can kind of work on balance, work on all these dynamic tasks. So how do you collaborate with the other disciplines in your setting?
Yeah, I work closely with the PTs. Obviously, they'll have to give me information if someone is ready to start doing a task from standing. If they're kind of working on standing endurance in PT, sometimes we will have them stand and play cornhole or stand and throw darts to kind of work on that endurance. Or if they're ready to use their walker in the community versus a wheelchair. So there's a lot of collaboration, I would say, between me and PT. I would say I collaborate with speech also for a lot of our cognitive tasks. If we're playing a board game, there's so much that goes into it with visual scanning, turn taking, sometimes basic math, problem solving, decision making. So kind of work with speech too if they're working on any strategies that we can also then use in our sessions. So I would say that I would like to think that we collaborate well across the board. And that's what I really like about our work is that I feel very included in the team and very respected, and we all work together so well. And then sometimes I've been told that rec therapists in other places, they're not really viewed as part of the clinical team, especially since insurance doesn't view us as part of the clinical team, and their opinions and their judgment isn't really included. So I really appreciate where we work that we kind of collaborate so well, and it's really just person centered, and so focused on the whole person getting better versus just parts of them.
No, I think that your field definitely just improves people's quality of life, their enjoyment of their
Mhm.
daily activities. But I think also it's very unique what you guys get to do. So we in PT are able to, get this person's balance better, work on car transfers, but then you guys could actually see them in the community, like actually walking, which is something that, the average in our field, the average PT doesn't really get to see, right?
Right.
Um, you get to see maybe a breakdown that we wouldn't see within our 30-minute to hour sessions. And so
Yeah.
hey, you said that they could do curves, but when they hit this big curve or that was uneven or whatever the case may be that we haven't replicated yet in our gym, I just think that's so cool. Just like there's really good collaboration happening there. So
Yeah.
I respect your field.
I let you do all the hard work in the gym, and I get to take them out and have all the fun.
It's true. Are some important lessons that you've learned throughout being a clinician?
I would say my number one thing I've learned at being rehab and seeing a lot of people, car accidents, strokes, falls, whatever. I've truly have adapted to live every day as it's your last, because you never know when or if or who it's going to happen to. None of our clients have thought this would happen to them. A lot of them don't even know that rehab is even a world out there. So truly living everyone's best life. There's no reason to be stressed. You just got to go out and have fun, and um yeah, and just live every day that it's like it's your last. I would say another thing that I've learned, like I said earlier, is kind of just different people's hobbies, which is kind of just fun and unique in itself. So I would say those are the two things I've really learned while working in rehab.
Since your time from starting until now, how have you felt like you've grown as a clinician? I don't know, just the things that you've learned, kind of comparing yourself to, when you first got out of school, versus now.
It's a tough question. I definitely feel like I've grown significantly, whether just working with people and kind of like knowing what to kind of expect. Although, like I said, no one's the same, so it's never going to take the same trajectory. But just learned a lot of different like interventions and different games that and techniques that work with people. Whether like, hey, this person doesn't like when I talk loud, or this person likes when I'm loud and obnoxious. I think those just experiences you kind of learn to read the people a little bit. So then you can kind of adapt the programming and my demeanor during a session to what they need in that moment, and kind of just reading the clients better is I would say would be what I learned the most.
I was like thinking, when in your career did you feel like, okay, I get it? Or has there been a moment where you're like, I feel like very comfortable, I know my job. I don't know, sometimes, so just for me, I'm working. I'm like, I'm still uneasy about things. You know, I still feel like a newer clinician. So was there a time or a moment when you were like, you know, I know what I'm doing. I can walk into almost any situation and just kind of take it for what it is.
I definitely do feel that confidentness at work. I don't know when it happened. Like I said, I've been there 14 years, so I'm sure it's happened along the way and it just kind of gradually got to that. I definitely feel like I can handle most situations. I'm not going to say all of them because I haven't seen all of them.
Right.
Um, but I definitely think at work I feel a lot more, I feel confident, but I also always think, how am I getting paid to do this job? Like this, like I'm just out here having fun, taking
Great.
people. Just recently, I was taking people to the beach on a 95-degree day, and I was just looking around like, I'm
This is
getting paid to hang out at the beach. So I definitely think I feel that more than like everyday confidence. It's just like, how can I get paid to have fun and let them have fun? Like this is so easy.
that's awesome, man. Like I said, guys, sometimes I think, man, I would go back. I would probably. All right. Anything else that you have for our listeners about CTRS or aquatic therapy?
Like Hannah says, you should do it because like I've said, every day is different, which makes it fun. I'm always out having fun. I literally sometimes wonder how I'm getting paid to do it. I get paid to have fun every day at work. I don't feel like I go to work. I feel like I go have fun with clients that I enjoy hanging out with, and then I come home and then I don't even do my own leisure home because I'm so tired because I've done all my leisure at work.
So what do
You
you
got
do?
to find a career that you don't feel like you're going to work, and I truly feel that way.
That's true.
That too.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of learning what a therapeutic recreation specialist is. And yeah, like I said earlier, you can follow this page at BB Podcast. The episode is available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And yeah, we're out.